Alright, what's up guys, Boris here, and we are part 3, or part 1 still, but we're on the 3rd legend here, Boa. Now, it has been a while since, you know, I've used Boa as a captain. To be honest, you know, here I have double Boa, but one of the first things you should do as a, if you're using Boa as a captain is consider using a Marco friend captain. That way you have a combination of different skills. You have the Marco skill. I mean, they pretty much have the same captain ability, where reduces damage received by 30% if HP is above 70% at the start of turn. So he has a damage buff, which is why I recommend using him, because you actually end up reducing damage. And he boosts the attack and of quick and physical and side characters, so blue and yellow, by 2.75 if above 60% at the start of turn. She does the exact same thing, but if it's a 1.5. Oh, and she boosts her recovery though, which isn't really that important, although it is nice. But definitely, like I said, I recommend probably starting with a Marco friend captain, because that 30% damage reduction is really, really nice. You know, if you have Marco, probably I would recommend running Marco or Boa as a captain. But you know, some of you guys probably haven't you know, pulled both. Naruto Ultimate. I probably will, man, when it comes out on Global. I think Global should be out soon, so. Yeah, Boa has to use Marco friend captain. But to be fair, Boa is not bad. She boosts, I mean, she delays for 1 turn and heals you. You know, however, the heal is not that much. It is a good amount, don't get me wrong, but it could be better. So it's not Marco level. The healing is not Marco level, which is why you want to use Marco. He heals or boost for his special, and it's crazy, man. So yeah, I guess you can do this as one. This is gonna be Boa / Marco. That's a good idea, because then I'll be just repeating everything. So it's gonna be like a Boa / Marco part. We'll just do this both in one part. Since you know we have both of them as captains here. So some of my, let me just tell you this, guys. Double Marco is probably my favorite team in the game right now. I use him for almost everything. Just because he's fun. He's fun to use. And let me show you guys some of the main units that I use with my double Marco team. So first off is I normally run Boa as a sub, but if you're using a Boa as a captain, I assume you don't have Marco, so let's not put Marco on the team. But let's put like Thatch. Start with Thatch, one of my favorite guys to run. Thatch will boost the chance of getting quick orbs for 3 turns. Is a 10-turn cooldown, so you can get him pretty quickly going. Really awesome, and a lot of times I've actually used Thatch and then I've been able to use him again because of his low cooldown. Awesome, trust me guys, with max orb sockets, like if you socket your Boa and you have a Marco friend that's socketed and you get some sockets from some of your other guys, you're gonna have pretty much a high chance of getting matching orbs. So there's your orbs. That's how you're gonna get orbs. The next guy you want is Anel from the raid boss. Now this guy is what makes blue team. This is why I run blue teams, is because you're gonna have the Anel with the Marco, and if you don't know how that works, Anel will cut your HP down to 1, or down to 99% or something, 1%. Cuts it by 90%. Okay, so you're gonna go down to 10% of your current health. But then you boost all blue characters by 2 times, and then you have Marco, who's gonna heal you back up to full, get you back up. You can even use Boa. But I don't think Boa actually will heal you enough, so I recommend using Marco. And on top of that, you're going to have an orb boost. So if you stash a turn before, you're going to have orbs, then you're going to do a massive damage there. So it's one of the best combos in the game by far. By far. And yeah, so what's the part 1? Part 1 is just what I'm doing today on stream. Then part 2 we'll cover it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow on stream or something. If not, I'll do it the next day. I want to probably do it tomorrow though. I don't know. And so yeah, so going back to the team, that's 4 of my other ones I like to use. Next up is one of my personal favorites. You don't have to use him, but he's pretty easy to get because he's a free-to-play character. Is going to be Rob Lucci. Now, like I said, Thatch is awesome, but there are some times when I wish that well, let's just say sometimes when I get bad luck, or sometimes I get to the boss and I want to go ahead and do a lot of damage the first turn, then I go ahead and bring Rob Lucci, so it guarantees me 3 matching orbs, and then I use Thatch that turn and start getting take advantage of all 3 of my Thatch turns. So That is another really good unit. However, if you have there's a better version of him, and that is let me see, Doflamingo. I don't have him, but if you have Doflamingo, holy cow! Well, if you have Doflamingo, you'll be seeing him on a lot of teams that I'm building. So Doflamingo here. Yeah, you can use Sai Marco. The problem is, well, that's not really a problem, but yeah, you can definitely use Sai Marco. Remember, you can use yellow units as well. The thing is, if you're using Enel, you want to try to have that full blue synergy, but you can definitely use these other ones. Yeah, Hina and Kaku or some other combos. So yeah, so Dofi, and then I almost always bring Kaku on this team. Kaku again, low cooldown, 10 turns, really awesome, pretty crazy. And yeah, if you want to bring in like a Hina or someone like that, it also works as well. Someone who can lock orbs. And that way you just have like you have one turn of like, you know, full Enel plus Marco, and then the next turn you pretty much just have Marco. So yeah. Now, yeah. So Cow Wrangler also brings up a good point. Let's say you just have Marco, right? Or let's say you don't have Boa. Let's say you don't have Boa or Marco. Then you can run Enel as a captain. Or even if you have Boa, it still might not be a bad idea to run Enel as a captain, because he will heal back up. And assuming you have a recovery cotton candy on him, it'll actually heal back a lot. And then your Marco will reduce damage by 30%. So you're almost always going to be above the 70% threshold, and you get that effect. Or you can even do it like this, where you use your Marco and an L captain, and then you bring your own Enel. So now you have 2 turns of Enel plus Marco. However, you will need another healer. So that's where the problem comes in. I don't think Boa will heal enough is the thing. So that's probably not a good idea, actually. But maybe it is, I don't know. Some other good characters on these kind of teams are Brook, because he will heal you up as well. So Fortnite Brook is going to be really awesome on this team, because of the fact that, again, he can heal you back up. Let me put on where is it? Boa. Also, you know who I'm thinking of? Let's see what people are saying here. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm thinking of Kizaru, or Kuzan, because he just came out. I'm going to be using him on a lot of teams if I ever get him. This guy's a beast, man. You can use your, let's see, where's the Enel? You can use your Enel plus your Marco, and then Kuzan will leave it for 2 turns. So yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, you can even use Thatch, man. You can even use Thatch as a friend captain if you're not gonna take any damage. Man, yeah. And of course, you don't need Dove if you're using Marco. Yeah, it's just a nice way to guarantee orbs, pretty much. Yeah, so like I said, you can use Rob Lucci, or you can even use, if you want a little bit of extra damage, you can always use Kizaru as well. Because it guarantees himself a quick orb, and then yeah. Remember, Marco is a fighter. Same thing with Boa. So he's again a nice way to get those specials ready to go. However, Enel is not. So, but Enel's not a shooter, right? No, he's not. So yeah. He'll boost strikers, blue crocodile. Yeah, the reason I bring Kaku when I have Marco is that a lot of times I will use I'll use Thatch. So Thatch will provide 3 turns, right? So the first 2 turns normally I use Kaku, and then the last 2 turns I go ham with Enel plus Marco. So the first 2 turns are normally Kaku, or I do vice versa. So that's why I bring him. So I have 4 turns of orb boost pretty much. That's just the way I normally do it. But yeah. Oh crap! There's someone else that I was gonna add, but I forgot. Well, yeah. Team like this is pretty crazy, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I was showing you a lot of good teams. So if you're looking for, normally I've been showing a lot of characters with free to play. So like I said, this is a nice one here. If you're just starting off, this would be a nice goal. Something like this. Let's see, Brook would be a nice one. Something like this. Something like this is simple. Could be good. or yeah, like I said, just like Marco. You know, just using a Marco for end captain with Boa. If you have Boa, and then just like using something like this, that's not too tough to get. You know, or remember, guys, you can also bring Usopp. Like, it's not a bad idea to bring someone like Usopp. Whether it's, you know, obviously he's not on global, but you could use someone like. Well, I actually use Strongworld Usopp a lot, but yeah, a Golden Pound. The reason you want to use Strongworld because Strongworld has 4 socket spots, so it's really actually ends up being really important. Yeah. You can also use side units too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, let me just put Strongworld for now. Put these together. Matching orbs. Let's say you don't want Kaku. Let's put Thatch in here for now. Trust me, if you, like I said, man, if you guys have max orb sockets level 3 and you use Thatch, you're gonna have matching orbs all the time. So let's go ahead and use Eneru and Marco, and just look, like, you're dealing 3,800,000 damage to reds. Like, you got 3 turns of stall, 3 turns of almost matching orbs, 2 turns of orb boost, 1 turn of a type boost, Boa to heal and another stall, and then just in case you get screwed over by orbs, you have Rob Lucci, right? So pretty easy team to build if you have Boa or Marco. This is a really nice team to go for. And again, you don't need Strongworld Usopp, but remember, if you do, it's the extra 10% damage on top of the sockets you get from it as well. If you don't want to use them, you can also bring someone like Marco, of course, just like Sai Marco. I know a lot of you guys will probably have Sai Marco. He's not easy to socket, but hey, look, your damage is still incredible, so like it doesn't really matter. You know, personally though, I would bring someone like. Personally, I would bring someone like Brook though. Like I said, guys, the most important thing is surviving early on. So you know, this is one of the easiest ways to stay above the 70% health. Just bring someone like Brook, get that extra healing. And again, with a Marco friend captain, you're taking 30% less damage. Also, with Boa as a captain, you do get recovery times 1.5. So meteors are going to be really important. So the highest possible damage team. I don't know what that would be. Probably a Kuzan team. You mean in general, or for like a Boa captain? Yeah. So yeah, that's insane. But yeah, so that's pretty much Marco and Boa combined into one. Like I said, if you do have double Marco, things get a lot easier, because then you have, like I said, Thatch plus you got 2 turns. You get, as soon as you get to the boss, you're probably gonna take some damage getting to the boss. So as soon as you get to the boss, you can go ahead and Thatch, right, and go ahead and do the first Marco, whittle him down, right. And then once those 2 turns are over, you get Enel plus Marco for a second round. It's going to do a lot of damage, possibly one-shot the boss at that point, because he's probably around 50. You have, what's his name? You can actually do it like this. If you have Dofi, I don't have Dofi, but if you have Doflamingo, that'll guarantee full matching orb, times 2 orb boost, and an L as well. That's going to be pretty crazy if you got that. And you just got a lot of teams like that, you know. You can use Usopp or someone as well. And the nice thing again is you can tank hits with double Marco. So yeah, that's gonna do it for Marco and Boa. If you have them, don't be sad. You know, people say Boa's the worst legend, but Boa's still good. You know, assuming you can socket her, make sure to socket her, and then you know, match her up with the Marco, and you should be good to go. So, and remember, you can use yellow characters. It's just most of the teams I use them with tend to be blue teams. So yeah, that's gonna be it for those. So it's 2 and 1.